You know it's rough when the peak of your career is being mocked across the internet before your film even releases. Rachel Zegler went from Disney's selected Snow White to the symbol of everything people despise about today's Hollywood. And somehow, every time she speaks, things just worsen. What began as Hollywood's next rising star turned into one of the most captivating public failures we've witnessed in years. The thing is, nobody had to cancel Hirsch. She managed it all herself with a grin, a speech, and a dose of delusion. So how exactly did Rachel Zegler go from Spielberg's golden talent to Disney's greatest PR nightmare? Because Rachel Zegler's fall from grace wasn't just a misstep. It was
did try to paint her out as the reason why Snow White flopped because of her expressing her political views, even though her co-star, who I shall not name, also had shared her political views. She still got invited to the Met Gala, but she will not be attending.
Passage of time. Rachel now plays Eva Perón in the West End revival of Evita at the London Palladium. This is a massive gig. Massive. A 2,286-seat venue. Andrew Lloyd Webber, Timothy Rice, legendary names. Despite that, entire areas are going unsold. Early booking data shows that more than 70% of tickets are open. Despite ticket prices as low as €25 for this,
no man. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
I don't think Disney anticipated that it really has a deep and strong emotional place in their childhoods and throughout their lives. And maybe that film from 1937 did not need to be reimagined.
Production attendance remains low. Even the premium seats. Empty on TikTok, public opinion is divided in an unusual way. In a recent Met Gala clip, Rachel received accolades, while Gal Gadot, who did nothing provocative, received negative feedback. Despite this, Rachel is the one with the unpopular theater. It's like the internet has turned upside down. So I decided to try it myself. I checked the booking website for her show, and it's real. There are many seats available every night in June, July, and August. It's as if no one realizes she's performing. Perhaps they don't want to support her anymore. The focus has shifted beyond Snow White. It is about Rachel. People have not forgiven her for criticizing the original plot, branding the prince a stalker, and turning a sentimental reboot into a lecture. Snow White grossed over $200.
Live-action Rapunzel is officially happening, and Florence Pugh will allegedly play Rapunzel. And while she seems like the perfect choice for the role because of how much they look alike, people in the comments had a lot to say. From some saying that the movie's ruined already, to others saying scrap it altogether, to most people complaining that Florence is too old to play the role and Rapunzel's supposed to be 18. Which in my opinion is a ridiculous statement because Florence is in her 20s and she could easily pass for Rapunzel.
Million at the box office. However, this remains a flop. Why? Disney reportedly spent almost $600 million on production, marketing, and reshoots. The Tangled remake, said to be more modernized and politically charged, was quietly shelved following the devastating loss. So here's the truth. Isn't just a theatrical flop, it is a symptom of a larger problem. Rachel Zegler is becoming Hollywood's leading cautionary story. After only one significant film credit, West Side Story, studios attempted to make her the new Disney face, but the audience did not agree. After Snow White's failed performance and empty theater seats, it's evident that viewers value sincerity above attitude. And guess what? Theater does not lie. You cannot edit the crowd. The turnout cannot be filtered. No one buys a ticket, you are performing for ghosts. It's amazing how the same sector can quickly sell out Hamilton. Evita, starring Rachel Zegler, is struggling to fill even half of its seats. Is not a one-time occurrence, but rather a consistent pattern. The London Palladium has 2,286 seats. It's a huge venue. However, regardless of the night or price, fans are simply not showing up. Interestingly, the show had already sold 4 million tickets prior to her casting. If this is true, why are entire rows still empty? Fans are calling it out. Some Reddit users have questioned whether the 4 million figure was a PR stunt to increase sales. The timeline does not make sense. If so many tickets were sold in advance, how come it is still so easy to get front row seats? Here's the harsh reality in cinema. Marketing can fake success. But in the theater, you either have a crowd or not. Rachel cannot pretend to be a fan by
Sounds like you're one of the only ones there, just like Rachel Zegler, as it turns out, and we part with this video of Rachel Zegler alone in a theater watching herself. One of the most unlikable humans.
That
ever.
is sadder than when the original Snow White eats the apple.
attending the premiere and sitting in the audience. It's a live performance. She's on stage, in front of 200 empty seats. That is the type of humiliation that Hollywood PR cannot conceal. What's even more bizarre is that studios are still pushing her, like, incessantly. It's starting to feel more like delusion than certainty. Execs believe that simply putting Rachel on stages, screens, and interviews will make her popular. Spoiler, this is not how audience connection works. And she isn't. The first, Hollywood has a history of attempting to introduce the next big star before the audience is ready. Remember Sam Worthington? What about Jai Courtney? Despite having large budgets and significant duties, no one seemed to care. You cannot create charisma. You cannot demand loyalty. Have to earn it. Rachel's reputation was already tarnished by her Snow White criticism, making her theater performance much more problematic. It's like stepping on a tightrope with your shoes unfastened. Her Broadway performance in Romeo plus Juliet was allegedly successful, earning $7 million. However, this was before she became the center of modern Hollywood scandal. Fans no longer view her name on a marquee as a symbol of star power. They think, oh great, another Disney lecture in disguise. And the sad part, Rachel.
Amelia Zelaya Alado. So I actually met Rachel Zegler in New York after her Broadway show performing Romeo and Juliet, and let me just say I have a couple opinions on her after meeting her in person. First, I will say I completely understand how people took what she said about Snow White and how she promoted that and just took it negatively, because I did too. Like, I genuinely did not like the way that she was talking about her character and stuff, but I have to say that in person, oh my god, she is so sweet, and not only that, she is ridiculously talented. Like, in that show, her singing actually blew me away. I've never heard anyone sing that well in person. I can't explain it. It was just amazing. I know there are some clips on TikTok where people secretly record the show. I highly recommend you guys go watch that, because her riffs were insane, and she only had like one singing part, but that was my favorite part of the entire show. She is genuinely really talented and a nice person. I just think that the way that she talks and the way that she presents herself to the camera does not always bode well with people, but that doesn't make her a bad person. So yeah, that's my unpopular opinion on her.
May be talented, but it's not about talent. Timing, attitude, and public willingness to listen are all important factors to consider. Live theater does not provide a safety net. If no one claps or shows up, you can still feel it every single night. Now, this isn't about cancel culture or Rachel Zegler being a bad person. However, her public image has been shaped more by her interviews than her performances. Audiences are turned off by condescending, contemptuous, and overtly politicized language. A TikTok fan recently described her encounter with Rachel in person. The outcome was not favorable for her. What's the vibe? Cold, distant, nothing like what fans had hoped for. Despite this, the media continues to portray Rachel as a burgeoning success. Golden Globe winner, Hollywood's new sweetheart. But let's be honest, this feels like legacy PR trying to polish an already tarnished result. Her recent project, the Hunger Games prequel, was successful, although not entirely due to her efforts. This series has the potential to attract a large audience even if it runs on fumes. Rachel Zegler did not sell tickets, but the Hunger Games did. Meanwhile, Hollywood continues to endorse her as if they have made a wager that they cannot afford to lose. If they confess Rachel was miscast as Snow White or people aren't connecting with her, it's more than just her reputation at stake. The executives vouch for her. Spielberg, who initially proposed Rachel for Snow White, has remained mute since the film's failure. It's almost as if they're expecting that everything would blow away quietly. Gadot, who co-starred in Snow White, was reportedly frustrated by both the backlash and the behind-the-scenes intensity. According to recent rumors, she has been privately complaining about the lack of professionalism on site. She has not named any names. But let's be honest, who else could it be? And that is the bigger issue here. Rachel may have
more to do with Gal Gadot calling out Rachel Zegler and putting her in the hot seat, as well as Disney when bringing up the production issues for Snow White. Now, Gal delivered the following: the most important thing when you are working on a film is teamwork, and when you have characters like the Evil Queen and Snow White, you expect teamwork to play a role in the creative process when you are trying to put something special together. We didn't really have teamwork, and there were many setbacks that we had to deal with during this entire process, and I just found that to be very exhausting. When you are acting, you expect your co-stars and the creatives to go all the way and to support each other, and we just didn't meet those expectations.
the voice, she might have the appearance. However, she lacks an awareness that Hollywood is more than just acting. It's also about connecting. You must earn trust. You must respect your audience. When you ridicule fan favorites and term beloved, story's weird. It sticks with people. Despite her talent, her rise to popularity appears forced. Not organic, not earned. What is the worst part? She isn't the only one affected by the aftermath. The view of Snow White as a disaster affects all actors, crew members, and creatives who invested time and effort in the project because of one individual's mindset. This is why studios are altering gears. Instead of declaring her cancellation, she gradually transitioned away from significant assignments. It's the Hollywood equivalent of ghosting. You may go from leading a reboot to being unnoticed. Rachel Zegler may still appear in publications and awards presentations, but her rise to fame is slowing fast. So what are the takeaways from all this? Rachel Zegler's career is not over, but it is certainly on hold. Not because she lacked talent, not because she made a single terrible movie. The actor, influencer, and public personality must remember that the audience determines who wins. Not the headlines, not the casting directors, the fans. Hollywood aimed to make her the next big thing. Presented her with accolades, roles, and press publicity. But they skipped the point where she needed to connect, to really earn it. And now? The impact is visible in live events, ticket sales, and global comment sections. And we sincerely hope Rachel learns from this. Nobody likes to see talent wasted. What if she doesn't? Eventually, someone will understand. Who embraces the fans, respects the effort, and prioritizes the story over politics. Tell us what you think. Was Rachel unfairly targeted? Is this an instance of Hollywood striving to make a star? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. We will read each one. To receive more in-depth content like this, please subscribe. See you next time.